everyone, it's Margaret here, and I want to talk today about the areas of Louisville and in the surrounding counties and areas. So when people say they're moving to Louisville area, it may not necessarily be Louisville proper. And so what I want to do is share that with you where the different parts of town are. And so if you hear someone talking about Middletown or another area, you could be knowledgeable about it. And so what I'm gonna do is share my screen with you, and then I'll discuss the different neighborhoods. All right, so let me share real quick. Hopefully that's real quick, right? I have a couple screens, so I apologize. Here we go. And share screen. I want to share this one. All right, so here is a map of the area, and it's broken up into numbers starting at 0 and going up to what, 30 looks like, and there might be even some more out here. And this is the MLS that we're part of. It's the Greater Louisville Association of Realtors. So when you get a little further out, you're going to have down here would be like the Heart of Kentucky Association of Realtors. It's a different MLS. I'm also a member of that. Then you over here, when you get to like Lexington, then there's the Bluegrass Association of Realtors. So what we're talking about would be pretty much inside these lines, mostly right here. And so let me get you some idea of what's in that. So let's starting at downtown, we're kind of ground zero per se. I'll zoom in. So this area that is 0 is going to include like Butchertown, which is where the slaughterhouses used to be or are. Castleman's Central Downtown, obviously, and then Germantown, which is going to be just slightly east of downtown, Limerick, Old Louisville, and Smoketown. Okay. And there are going to be price points all over the place with all of those areas. Okay. So if we're going to move to area 1, that's considered Old Louisville and Shively in the West End. So obviously, because we have the Ohio River, as you can see it right here, I'm tracing it now. High River, we are bound, and then this is Indiana on this side of the river. So we are flanked over here by Indiana. So we can only go so far, right? So here in area 1, we get stopped by the river. So so this is West Louisville. Then you have the Shively area. They call it Lively Shively, which I think is hilarious. And then, like I said, Germantown would be over this way, and Butchertown. All right. Once again, you'll have price points in all over the place, between Old Louisville being very high and then subsequently down. It's going to number 2. You'll have again some Butchertown, and so the neighborhoods would be Aberdeen, Auburn, Audubon Park, Beaumont, Bon Air, which is near the airport. There's a small airport over there. Excuse me, right here. It's this little airport right here. And then Cherokee Hills, Cherokee Triangle. Then you'll have Deer Park, Dundee Estates, Germantown, Highlands, Irish Hill, Phoenix Hill, Snitzelberg, Seneca Gardens, Seneca Village, and you can see the Seneca Gardens is listed here, Shelby Park, Strathmore, the Springs, Tyler Park, Wellington, and Zachary Taylor. So that is all in this area too. Okay, so some of these are going to be fairly small because I didn't even list them all, to be honest, because I didn't want to bore you. So if I went to area 3, so we're now going a little bit northeast of downtown. All right, so that is Clifton, Crescent Hill, and St. Matthews. Those neighborhoods are Beechwood Village, Bellwood, Broadfields, Brownsboro Village, Cherokee Gardens, Clifton, Crescent Hill, Crestmore, Fairlawn, Indian Hills, Mockingbird Gardens, Mockingbird Valley, Norburn Estates, Parkside, Plymouth Village, Rich Lawn, Rolling Field, St. Matthews, Windy Hills, Park Lawn. All very established neighborhoods, very affluent neighborhoods, and kind of your middle to higher price points in some of these, especially when you get into like the Cherokees and the let's see, also the Highlands. You'll have some high end stuff. Cherokee, there was one more in here. Can't think of it. I just had it on tip of my tongue. But anyway, those are going to be a little bit higher and in price point. So then when we go to, oh, I know, Mockingbird Gardens. Okay. So then when I go to area 4, now you see that's down here. Okay. So that is going to be your PRP state, Valley Station and Shively. So it's part of Shively, but also PRP, which is Ashby Woods, Boxwood Heights, Greenfield, Green Ridge Estates, Shacklet Acres, Sun Valley, Valley Downs, Valley Gardens, and Valley Village. So a lot of valleys there. This is also, just as a fun fact, a lot of people will run out Dixie Highway, which is right here, and you can go all the way to Fort Knox, just running Dixie Highway. So it's a super busy street. Any time of day, rush hour is actually one of the busiest streets in Louisville during rush hour times. All right, moving on to 5. That is going to be right here. So again, we have a little bit of Shively in there. It's Auburndale, Fairdale, Iroquois Park, and Shively. So more south end, obviously. Beachmont, Candlelight, Cloverleaf. I just sold a house there. Golden Meadows, Hazelwood, Kenwood Heights, Lemont Acres, Nicholson, Prairie Village, Scottsdale, Southern Heights, Tindor, Villa Anna, and Windsor Forest neighborhoods. So again, it pretty much is bordered by the expressway. You see this is 265. That is the expressway that goes on the outer edge of the Louisville area, and then you have 264 that is the more inner expressway. So all right, so if I'm moving on to area 6 for you, it's right here. So you can see it's a pretty large area, and it's pretty much Buchel, Highview, and Fern Creek. And then there are probably 20 or more different neighborhoods in there. I won't bore you with all of those. Glenmary is one of them that is pretty popular. The reserve at Glenmary, Rangeland is in there. That has a lot of starter homes. I recently sold a house there. Indian Falls, let's see, Old Kentucky Home is in there. So quite a big, just not disparity, but big range, I guess I would say, between the different neighborhoods in this area here. If I go to area 7, now we even have a larger space. So it's Fern Creek, Hikes Point, and Jeffersontown, also known as J-Town. You got Billtown Farms, Breckenridge Estates, Brookhaven, Cedar Lake Park, Chenoweth Hills, Chenoweth Run, Four Seasons, some more Glenmary, Hanover Trace, Poplar Lakes, Saratoga Springs, Saratoga Woods, Springview, Stone Lakes, and Watterson Woods, all in this area. Pretty big area there. So if I'm moving on to area 8, and that is right here, okay, you with me? And that is going to be Douglas Hills, Hurstbourne, Middletown, Anchorage, and St. Matthews. Anchorage is one of the most expensive zip codes in our area. So you can imagine these price points are going to be much higher than some of the other neighborhoods. Again, Anchorage, Anchorage Point, Forest Springs, Glen Lakes, Hurstbourne, Lake Forest, Landis Lakes, just FYI, and Locust Creek. So Lake Forest, Landis Lakes, and Locust Creek all have been Homerama neighborhoods over the last 10 to 15 years. We got Polo Fields as well, is in that same area. That's area 8. So this is a pretty affluent area of town that you're going to get a lot bigger price points there. Area 9 also has some Anchorage though. Okay, so you have Anchorage, Glenview, Linden, and Prospect, all with the higher price point zip codes. We got Barbermead, Beach Spring Farm, Brownsboro Farms, Graymore, Devondale, Hunting Creek, Indian Springs, Norton Commons. I'll talk about that in a second. I've done other videos on Norton Commons as well. Rock Springs, Rolling Hills, Springhurst, Sutherland, Westwood, Wolf Trace, Woods of St. Thomas, and Worthington Place. And all these are pretty much in Jefferson County though, right? with maybe a little bit just outside the county, but by and large, this will be Jefferson County. So Norton Commons, I've done videos on Norton Commons. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Okay, so I have done videos on Norton Commons. It's a kind of a mixed use space where you may have a bakery right next to you. It's made to be very walkable. A lot of people have golf carts. There's restaurants, there's attorneys' offices, beauty shops. So it's kind of like your small town America, on a more expensive scale. So you usually will not have much yard in a Norton Commons house. You'll have probably sometimes more front yard than you will backyard. The houses are very close. Sometimes they are condo style in that they touch each other. Um, but they are it's a very exclusive neighborhood, I would say, but they are constantly always building it. They have a vision, and it's been building for 10 years, and it's still building. So they have their own schools in there, their own YMCA, things like that. So I just wanted to kind of hip you to that deal. So let me go back to sharing my screen. Okay, and we're now moving on to area 11 is going to be Bullitt County. So that is not in Jefferson County. However, because we are landlocked by the river and such, we can't really grow much more. So that's down here. Your Brooks and Hillview and Pioneer Village is down here. And then you got Mount Washington, all that is through here. So if we are looking in area 11, 19 is Spencer County. So you can see you have Taylorsville Road runs out there. And then we have area 20 and 21. So let's go back up. This is up here. So this is going to be Oldham County, and there's one that's north of 71 and south of 71. So area 20 and 21. So Oldham County is known for their schools. So their schools are usually blue ribbon winning schools. And they also, you have to live in the area. So you have to live in the county to go to the school. If you do not, I believe there's a penalty, a financial penalty, if they find out that you have lied. So some people are definitely trying to get a house in these areas, because then you're getting a good school without paying for private school, but you are going to pay more in your taxes, and then the price points are going to be higher. Okay. So if I was going into then area 30 is the Shelby County. So you have Simpsonville out here. Shelbyville obviously is going to be out here. Finchville, Fisherville is all in this county. So as you can see, Louisville can't really grow more because they're so landlocked. So anymore, it's nothing for people that my brother-in-law lives in Fisherville, but works downtown at the courthouse. So he drives that every day. Now, I also don't think our traffic is terrible. He probably does it in 30 minutes. So, going mostly speed limit. Now, I do know that when you get going into Taylorsville, there's some construction, so it's slowing it down a little bit. I noticed that when I was out there a few weeks ago. So that is the brief. I will stop sharing real quick. And that's kind of an overview. I know it's a little bit much, but just to kind of understand the layout. So when you're looking for a house, and are you a person that still needs to go into the office, and is your office downtown? So do you want to live downtown? We do have condos. I just did a video about condos. Or are you a person that can now work from home, so you can live anywhere you want to live? We have some of these houses, like in Cherokee Park, literally right on the park, Iroquois Park, right on the park. So you could be a place that, and I've done videos about that if you wanted to, if you're a runner and you want to go running, you can literally come out your door and go running because you're right on the park. So we have that capability with things like Cherokee Park and Iroquois Park, places like that. And then we do have the river. So some people like river life. I've moved people and onto the river. They just like river life, and they have a boat and they have a dock, and they have opted for smaller homes. They had a big home way out here, and we moved them into a condo or something more smaller, but to give them the lifestyle that they wanted. So I ramble on, I prattle on. So I will take my leave. I hope that you found this helpful today. If I can be of any assistance, I would love to. My name is Margaret Weathers with Coldwell Banker McMahon. My number is 502-664-9971. And I am at margaret@margaretsmoving.com. Again, margaret@margaretsmoving.com. I love to be help to people, especially moving in from maybe out of town. They don't really know what's going on, get the lay of the land. Sometimes people choose to rent initially till they figure it out. But I like to be a resource. So until next time, take care of each other and go pack.